walking over. Also, inside the Anglican Church, you have the symbol of IHS. Whether it's in the baptismal bowls or in the communion cups or on their drapes and their cloths, you'll see the sun symbol everywhere, and IHS standing for Isis, Horus, and Set. Scarily, they've even got the interwoven so-called symbol of David. This double triangle, the one pointing up, the one pointing down, with the cross in the center. And then when we stop for a moment and we look right up at the ceiling, what do we see? There we have the sun symbol with the PX. PX, interestingly enough, Kathy Burns tells us in her expose on these secret symbols that the PX stands for the staff of Osiris, which is the mast that was in the boat of he that goes through the underworld after death. Sun symbols, sun symbols, sun symbols. Let's go for a moment up onto one of the higher floors and look back down to that black and white square phenomenon that we saw earlier. This is now looking down towards the altar. I tell you what, let's go a little bit closer to the altar and then look straight down over the gallery. What do you see? What you're seeing here is basically a witch's coven. This is laid out in St. Paul's Cathedral in black and white squares in a similar fashion to a witch's coven. Let's go back a little bit lower back onto the ground floor, and you'll see on the ground floor the black and white pentagram. And you'll see with the writing just coming through on top there, you'll see that this is with a pentagram pointing with the point down, which is in the shape of the goat with the two horns pointed up. These symbols are everywhere throughout St. Paul's Cathedral. For anyone who is a sage, an adept, or somebody that understands the language, for anyone to see. This one clinches it of all of them. Let's look one more time back up towards the ceiling. And what do you see? There you see the symbol of Freemasonry. The luminary with the two legs, the compass, and then the set square, and over it is the all-seeing eye of Lucifer with the sun symbol. How does this all fit together? Well, Time magazine says, Hail Mary! Catholics have long revered her, but now Protestants are finding their own reasons to celebrate the mother of Jesus. We're going to have to look into this in a little bit more depth. Because in Revelation 18, God is calling man, come out of her, my people. Come out of false systems of worship. And I get resistance when people say, but why are you dealing with all this satanic stuff? And I'm saying, well, that's exactly what Revelation explains. How do you know you're part of a satanic system if you are deceived, if you are asleep? Somebody has to wake you up. Wake up, wake up. And Revelation 18 speaks about these churches and these worship systems becoming the habitation of devils and every unclean spirit. Well, this is going to become clearer and clearer as we move now through these lectures. But understand that Revelation 18 is calling us out of false systems of worship. He's calling us out of error and into truth. The question is, if He's calling us out of error, He's going to have to call us into truth. If He's calling us out of this room, you automatically have to go outside or into another room. So if He's calling us out, He must also tell us where to go into. We'll be covering this in the lecture entitled The Final Confrontation. This place, which is a sort of leftover haven, which is full of people that have listened to this call, come out of false systems of worship, my people. Come out, be with me. That group of people is going to be Satan's most hated enemy. And we're going to have to find out, not only from the Bible, what does the Bible say about those people, but we're going to have to find out, what does Satan say about those people? Who does he hate most? Who does Satan hate most? Because the people that Satan hates most is going to be the people that Jesus loves most. Come with me into the second section of this lecture. We're going to be looking through what we've just looked through is Christianity. Now we're going to be going into Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Judaism. Is it possible that all of them link back to Rome? How does Rome influence the other religions? Is there some way of identifying a connection between Islam and Rome, or Hinduism and Rome, Buddhism, Judaism for that matter, and Rome? Well, this is what we're looking at the moment. And you'll remember in the first section of this lecture, we went into how do secret organizations work. Because Theology 101 told us that in every religion, you have an exoteric and an esoteric section. In other words, within Christianity, within Buddhism, within Judaism, within all of them, you've got a group of people that are the masses, the people, the members of the congregation, if you like, that know a certain amount of information. And then you have a group of individuals in the inner core that know what information is not supposed to be dispersed amongst the people. And when we went into Freemasonry and to certain secret societies, we realized that the same idea is kept. Morals and Dogma told us by Albert Pike that the Templars created two religions, one inside a hidden one called Johannism, and one outsider one which is known as Roman Catholicism. And that's why today you haven't heard probably about Johannism before. But we all have heard of Roman Catholicism. And Roman Catholicism today encircles the globe with over 1 billion adherents. Well, this is the question. How does Rome then influence other religions? Is there some way of connecting them? Well, here's an image of Mecca. Islam, along with certain of the other religions, is a religion which has pilgrimages. These people spend their life savings on going to Mecca, going to their holy city, and spending time worshipping at the holy shrines. Interestingly, though, in all pagan religions, pilgrimages are the order of the day. And amazingly enough, that's exactly what you find in Roman Catholicism. Pilgrimages to the Catholic Vatican, or pilgrimages to here, pilgrimages to there, pilgrimages to the visions and the images given at La Salette, etc. Pilgrimages are part of a pagan understanding of going somewhere to receive a certain blessing. And this is in contradiction to the Christian understanding where Jesus is where you are as long as you ask Him to come into your life. Again, the same sort of image just shows the millions upon millions upon millions of these people involved in a religion which we're going to have to look into in the next couple of minutes. In AD 661, this area here around North Africa was the only area that Islam was really to be noticed. Today, if we look at the area which Islam covers, it's a pretty vast area, covering from the halfway through Russia, if you like, almost into China, and across the entire North Africa. Well, Muhammad married Khadija, who was, interestingly enough, a Roman Catholic. And when he was 25 and she was about 40, her cousin by the name of Waraka was also a Roman Catholic. And as anycities.com explains, and many other sources, Muhammad Mustafa was born in 570 AD and died in 632 AD. He fled Medina in 622 AD after Khadija's death. So his wife dies and he flees Medina. He marched on Mecca in 630 AD, 2 years before he died and 4 years before Omar became the Caliph. Now the Quran was compiled in 650 AD. So this Mohammedan character, the prophet by which the Muslims follow, or the prophet that the Muslims follow, was somehow associated with, if you like, Roman Catholicism. His wife was a devout Roman Catholic. Let's have a look what Robert A. Morey says about Allah. Allah, he was the moon god who married the sun goddess. Together they reproduced 3 goddesses who were called the daughters of Allah. These 3 goddesses were called Alat, Al-Uzza, and Manat. The Encyclopedia of